We can see how many sort of gizzards that we've handed out to people, but it's like, we handed out like 15 notebooks or something on this date. Loads of people want their notebooks, but there's nothing to really, apart from website traffic or social media traffic. It's really hard to sort of measure whether it was successful or not. Some of the contracts come in and then we know we've covered our cost of how much we spent on there. But I didn't know from a sales. I didn't know from a BD perspective. Like if your manager the next week said, was it successful or not? What would be the factors you'd say, actually, yeah, we had A, B, and C. I think that's a successful. Where does the seesaw of this wasn't a successful event?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting question because it gets very subjective, really, sort of their perspective as to what success looks like. But ultimately, you know, as sort of mentioned, cycling back to kind of the overall brand awareness piece and more people knowing about us across a number of years now, we've seen improvements by event, where we've actually sort of been able to move conversations on and we've grown the kind of network that we've built around sort of these events and also follow-up activity. And straight away you can look at, you know, number of contacts entered into the CRM, for instance, number of new deals that are arising as a result of the exhibitions, again through the CRM. So we can easily track that sort of what does success sort of look like. We can map that then across what we want to achieve from the event, build in the subjective kind of sort of opinion piece, because, you know, there's always those extra elements that actually add value to these events but are difficult to justify financially, you know, pound signs to pound signs. It's really, you know, when you collate all that information together, bring that sort of in one sort of single sort of slide and you see it actually on a page, the overall net effect. That's when you start to sort of see the event. The downside is, you know, cycling back to, we talk about the business development life cycle and the gestation sort of period for getting from an initial discussion through to potential orders. That can vary anything between kind of weeks through to months, even into sort of years. So it's being able to track that really allows us that sort of success.
So it's not really a question you can ask a week after an event like the DSEI. It's if you've got contracts that are going to take, or talks that turn into contracts, and the contracts then can take up to maybe a year or something. Really, we're looking at now, was DSEI 2023 successful? Because everything would have been closed by then and we would know what the ROI was, whereas it's still very early days for knowing.
It's a question you can answer to a point, and effectively what you want to see is a relatively short return on investment. So ideally you want some of those shorter win opportunities to come through within weeks or months really from that. Not necessarily difficulty, but also the opportunity needs to be recognised that, you know, DSEI is every 2 years, so you're right, you've got a 2-year window there as to where you might see some sort of payback. You might see some level of detailed discussion held in 18 months' time. So I think it's a question you can answer within a projected period of time. But what you're then missing is the follow-on updates. Was it a great show or was it an excellent show? What's the difference between the two? And typically, you know, we build those relationships across a number of years and you know, a contact name received at DSEI 2023, for instance, may have led to a discussion at the show this year, which may lead to a further discussion at DVD next year, for instance, or to one of the other shows next year. So there is never a clear line you can draw straight away through. But again, coming back to the proverbial rabbit holes, you can follow those through, you can sort of attribute it back towards, and therefore you can usually gather some relative return on investment from the event.
That was a clip from the Briefing Room podcast, and you can watch the full episode here if you liked it. There it is. It should be a little box. Just get out of the way, and I'll let you click or use your finger if you're on your phone to click on it, or if you're on a TV you can somehow navigate on the controller to get to it, or if you're on a laptop you can just move your mouse right up there and press play.